Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Turbo Talk. I know it's been a minute, but here we are. I'm ready to go out into the world. I got a lot of work going on. That's why I've been so busy. That's why not too much has been recorded and posted. But nonetheless, my last videos were getting you to the point of some understandings, at least some understandings of Turbo. And I tapped into more, and there will be a lot more coming because more is infinity. But I'd like to go ahead and just kind of bring back, or just extend in on this particular category or triad, like I like to use. I'm going to be using some dyad examples in my next few videos. But God said, "Seek ye wisdom." And the way it was actually written in ancient languages, it was "Weedai." Seek. I'm not sure what the words were, seek, but "Weedai." "Weedai" means vision. Seek the ability to see. Get wisdom. Get vision. Find love. All of those are in that. Seek ye wisdom. And while you're doing so, get understanding and knowledge too. So I've tapped in some understandings, and it's not just Turbo that has understandings. There's understandings throughout every single individual in the world. Nonetheless, I established 3 plus. But today, I'd like to talk about knowledge. We're going to get back into the ability to see, and there's so many different things that I want to share with that. But right now, I want to share just a little bit of knowledge. And so we know that we got to use dyads if we're going to slice anything, because otherwise the only thing you need to know is God, right? Or do you know God? Alright, so we either know or we don't know God, and we start there. I mean, that's the truth. People are atheists, and then there are people that believe in multiple different gods, and some people believe in multiple gods. And so, but in my scenario, there's one true God, and that is something that I start with, something that I know. And that's how I come up with my understandings. The dyads cut God in half, and you can actually, or cut love in half, or cut vision in half. Then you got your 2 sides. So let's go ahead and just pick one for just a minute, alright? And so, if you got to remember that it's not just dyads and triads, it's quads, and oh my gosh, there's just so many different ways that you can put anything together. You can dissect things multiple different ways. There's 206 bones in the body, 430 some muscles. I mean, so you can slice the body down into, already we've got parts and organs and functions, but I want to stick with just 2. A dyad. Just slice the knife through, and let's just start with knowledge. And so the first example of a dyad that I'd like to share is basically splitting wood. It's a simple one. I have more complex ones, but I'd like to be a little more rehearsed on them before I go ahead and just start shooting from my pocket. But this one I'm shooting from the pocket. You got an axe or a maul. Most people split with a maul. And then you can do some kind of a press. So here's the deal. You got two ways to get the wood. You got wood that's too big for your stove. You got to get it split. There's two ways to get it done. One is you go out there and you pick up the handle of the splitting maul and you just start swinging it until it's all split up. The other way is that you go ahead and get a machine or some kind of a press or what we call a wood splitter, and then you just lay the log on the splitter and split it up, and you still get your firewood. So that's two different ways. Now I'm sure there's other ways, of getting wood split, but for right now I'm just going to use those two. So let's just burst them. The maul versus the press. Alright, well first of all, I just want you to know right now that there's more physical activity and more requirements of the body to split with the maul. I want you to know right now that splitting with the maul is way faster. Even if it's not easy to split. It's still pretty much the fastest way to go. But it is the most taxing on the body. Now, the other way, it's not very slow, but it's pretty consistent. You roll the log on, you split it, you roll it, you split it, you roll it, you split it. Because you're putting in, 30, 35 ton of pressure right down the middle of that thing until it just goes all the way through it. It's slow. It takes a lot longer to split wood with the press. However, no matter what age you are, swinging of the axe, you only got so many hours, and your body's going to have to say enough's enough. I've got quite a bit done, and usually you measure things by the rick or by the load or by the pile. But then you're done. However, with the press, you can probably just keep on going. So one is fast and one is long. I'm starting to sound like the body again, aren't I? The muscles. One's operate really strong and fast, the other one's starting slow and long. Anyway, so that's where I wanted to go to, is the fact is that two sides. My next example that I'll probably post pretty soon is going to be something that I can divide even further easily for you, maybe even put in triads. But I want to stay with the dyads for a minute, and I want to throw in some knowledge. So just so that we can clarify again what the dyad portion of this is that we took a hole, cut it in half, made two sides. One of these sides is going to be fast and taxing, and the other side is going to be slow, but probably produces more because you can go longer. So at the end of the day, yeah, you're not going to be as wore out. Now, trust me, putting those great big logs on the splitter is not easy either. It's easy. That's the difference. Standing the log up versus rolling it on the machine. That's the biggest portion of the differences as far as the taxing on the body, but the rest of it's swinging. If you swing that axe and it's easy splitting wood, sure, that axe is going, or that maul, I keep calling it an axe, but it's a splitting maul, a wedge. It's going to go pretty fast. At the same time, easy wood splits up with the press as well. It's just slower because you got to wait, you got to backtrack. So you're pushing the press in, letting the press come back. That takes time. You can swing the axe, probably get the whole log split up way faster with the axe. That's the point. But the overall of whichever side that you go to, when you're looking at sides of the dyad, usually lead to the same result. You got a rick of wood stacked up, ready to burn. That's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. We're starting out with knowledge And knowledge is nothing more than taking these understandings and basically being able to put them into some kind of function or use. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Most importantly, be your best.